没有问题。
If you have questions, just to hear their private conversations.
He is very good at Chinese. He can speak very fluent Chinese. So if you are interested in, you can actually communicate with him in Chinese and experience yourself how fluent and proficient his Chinese is. And now he is doing his intern in Shanxi Professional People's Hospital and will finish his intern in the middle of June. So this afternoon, first of all, I want to invite Jiao Wei to have a short, brief introduction about himself and also his learning experience and also his intern experience. I think it's very of great help for you since you are the second year, no matter on your Chinese study or your medical studies or even in the future in your intern. You can, if you have any questions, you can ask him directly after his speech. Okay, now let's give the stage to Jiao Wei.
So, she just introduced me, so I don't have the need to introduce myself. It's my card. As you can see, some of the pictures with my teachers. As you can see, this one here is in the neurology, internal medicine, neuromedicine, and this one is in the ophthalmology. Most of our teachers can speak English, but they're not that fluent. But it will help you if you do internship here because they have a lot of instrument that is very advanced than most of the countries, like Pakistan, Africa, and all the continents there. And yeah, I'm from 2018 batch. I passed HSK4 in 2019 and internship in the People's Hospital. And here's my YouTube and Instagram if you want to follow me there. So today we are going to talk about the Chinese language. So we say it in Hanyu. Hanyu is actually referred to the written language. And Zhongwen, you can also say that you can write it and speak the spoken language. Do any of you know who is called bilingual? Bilingual person or polyglot? Yeah, polyglot is the person who can speak 3 or more than 3 languages, and bilingual is who can speak 2. So let me clear one thing here. If you want to pass HSK4, maybe you have heard, there's a person who can provide the services for you, who can give you the answers before the exam, and you can pass that. But it's all fraud because I personally know some people who have tried this 2 or 3 times and they failed. So yeah, you want your own. So, have any of you have passed the HSK4 examination? No. So what?
They just finished 2.
HSK2. But do you guys know when we were in our first grade, in first year? Talking and learning. So that's a big question, and that's the hard one because this is where you start. So Chinese is one of the most difficult languages in the world and the most spoken language also. We will see those questions in a bit and maybe you'll find some answers after hearing my experience about this language. We'll move on to the experience. So first thing that you need is motivation. So what's your motivation about learning Chinese language? Can anyone tell me? Anyone? Students from Africa? Yeah.
To pass my HSK4 and be able to communicate with Chinese in case they come to my country or I'm supposed to work in China.
Yeah, that's a good one. So, my motivation was there's a lot of career opportunities in China. As you can see that Chinese economy is growing all over the world, and also you have the business opportunities there like import and export, I recently read that there's a lot of import-export going on from China to Africa and Africa to China. So yeah, you also have a lot of jobs. Like in Pakistan, as you guys know from Pakistan, there's CPEC, China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, and there's a lot of jobs. And I think if you speak this language, you can go there, settle in Gwadar, maybe do some translation there, maybe open some business there. And about admissions. When you complete your bachelor's here, you can also do the PG, post-graduation masters. If your language is good enough, you can easily get in that university and do your masters. And they also offer the scholarships that I'm doing now. I just applied to Sichuan University. It's there in Chengdu, and maybe some of you knows. There are a lot of pandas in Chengdu. Have you seen the Kung Fu Panda cartoons?
Yes.
Yeah, it's from Chengdu, Sichuan. And the other one is communication, personal growth, and confidence. In my opinion, when you learn a language that is very difficult and it's known that it's the most difficult language in the world, then you have a lot of confidence. When you learn it, you are so confident because you can do anything. Why? Because you have learned the most difficult language in the world. Next one. Tips and tricks, suggestions, how to learn this language. The first one is to revise it in your mind. Don't say it loud first, just revise it in your mind. For example, every day you can learn 5 words, just 5 words with characters. How to memorize characters? I have it, I will tell you in a bit. Revise it in your mind. For example, when I was learning Chinese, I would wake up every day, I just read 5 words and revise it in my mind. I just don't say it loud. When I'm confident that I can revise it in my mind, I can memorize it, I would say it out loud 3 times, 4 times. Like whenever you go to class, maybe you say to Lao Shi Zao Shang Hao. You can say it 3 times, 5 times, like Zao Shang Hao, then Zao Shang Hao, Zao Shang Hao, and you will be fluent. Third one, conversations in Chinese. You can converse a lot, like only 2 people, a group of people, like small group, 4, 5, 6, maybe with your roommates, maybe with your teacher, and maybe alone. If you are alone in a room, you can just role play, like you are asking the questions and answering them. Yeah, mirror. So it will also help you to learn language. The fourth one, if you can do the first 3, you can move on to the next step. Record yourself, record your voice. If you're confident enough, you can record your video. If cannot, you can just record your voice and save it and listen it when you go to your classroom or on your way to your classroom. Just play it in your ears, listen to it, and it will also help you to remember. And you will also find out when you speak how you sound like, because most of the people are very nervous about this thing, that how they sound like when they speak. And the next one, travel. You can always travel. Like, have you ever been to Walmart there in the city center, Jinzhong? Yeah. You go to Walmart, you go to any place in China, you get a bus, right? Because bus is the most affordable thing you can afford here as a student. So you get on a bus, you see a lot of road signs in every road. You can see a lot of signs. So when I was the first year student, we studied 2 months, especially just Chinese, 2 months. From 8:30 in the morning to 12 in the noon, and from 2 to 6:30 in the afternoon, and then from 7 to 8:30 at night. And then we were free to go to our dormitories and do whatever we wanted to. So we come back to this travel thing. So when I was on the bus, I will see the signs, and I will open my Placo app. Do you have Placo? you use it?
What?
You can use it in a way, it can be very helpful to you. You open your phone, you see a road sign, you cannot read it. Yeah? You just strokes, follow the strokes. It's not that important to follow the strokes, but you can find your own way to write it. Like, I sometimes make mistakes when writing the characters. So you use the black wire, just mirror the sign, and it will give you the meaning and stroke by stroke and how to pronounce that word. And if you have done this one, then you can change your environment, your surroundings. You can make friends, definitely. Yeah, you are living in China, wherever you go, you can make friends. And then what? You can go to a cafe, you can go to a restaurant, and you can just sit there, do your own thing, do your homework, do your assignments. But simultaneously, at the same time, you just listen to other people's conversation. But simultaneously, at the same time, you just listen to other people's conversation. I'm not saying that you hear their private conversations, but just in general. So it will also help you to become fluent. And we go back to the question. I can't memorize the Chinese characters. This is the hard part, let me tell you. This is honestly the hard part, as you all know. When you write a character on the page, you see on your right, on your left, you almost forgot it. Yeah, you cannot write it again. Well, I have the solution. You write it on one page from first line to the last line, then you turn the page, you will forget, I know. But you keep writing it. It's the only way to learn how to write the Chinese characters. There is no other way. You have to work hard because you came here a long way from your home. You came from Africa, you came from Pakistan, you came from Indonesia. It's a long way to come here. If you don't work hard, you cannot get anything. It's the first thing. Nothing is free in this world, as you know. And I have experienced it in the last 5 or 6 years by myself. I also used to think that it's okay, we have a lot of days, we have a whole semester, and I will study in the last 2 or 3 days, and maybe I'm an Einstein, maybe I have the neurons more than the normal people, and I will do it, but no, you cannot do it. You have to work hard. So, if you memorize Chinese characters, I'm not saying that you have to learn it by stroke and everything. You just have to memorize it. Because when we are doing the HSK 4 examination, we have 2 options. Maybe 老师，他们有选择吗？就是那个电脑的那个。
他们现在可以选择，可以选择电脑，可以选择纸上的。是考的
因为我们那时候没有选择，是吗？
也只有 online 是吧
？So now you have the choice to pick between the computerized exam on the computer or the conventional way of writing on the paper. When we were here, we just had one choice to write it on the paper and pass it. And I think that one is the very difficult because if you miss one stroke, your word is gone, your marks are gone. But if you do it on computer, maybe some of you have Chinese friends, you type it in Chinese and you send a message in Chinese. Anyone? Yeah. That's a lot easier, as you know, because you don't have to write, you just have to remember the opinion and it will work for you. So my suggestion is that you can choose the HSK4 examination on computer if you want, and it will be a lot easier. Well, I can understand, but I cannot speak and of it. So as I just mentioned before, you have to make small conversations, and then you can make small conversations, then you can move forward to making a large sentence. When you make a large sentence, you can repeat it several times a day before going to sleep, maybe, if you are eager enough to. When I speak Chinese, people don't understand me. So here comes the problem of tones. First tone E, second tone E, third tone E, fourth tone E. Okay, so These four tones, you have to master these four tones. If you are not master of these tones, you cannot let the other person understand what you are saying. Here we have a lot of problems. One, maybe your speed is very fast because you are nervous. I give you, let not say example, but a scenario. If you go to a shop, you are saying, 我想买香蕉. Maybe you said it wrong, but don't be afraid of doing something wrong. We make a lot of mistakes to learn something. And when you make mistakes, you are sure when you're saying that thing is right because you have made mistakes in the past. And you can just remember all those mistakes and say the thing correctly. Then we move on to I cannot speak it fluently and I feel awkward. It happened to me before. When I was in my room, I was like, okay, today I will go out and I will say, 我是这个，我是那个，我要去那边，我要去玩。But when I had encounter with the locals, I was, okay, I cannot do it. And this thing comes with the practice. Just practice again and again and again. And don't forget that you have come a long way from your home to learn something. Yeah? So learn it. You can do it. Okay, we also do this one too. And the last one, memorable experiences and my encounters with the locals at the hospital and dreams. The picture here, I designed it by myself. I did it yesterday for you guys. As you can see, can you read the characters in this one? Try it. No. What about this one? 他们还好，他们通过了2级，我觉得可以。So yeah, very good. But this picture is a picture of my experiences. When I was learning this language, sometimes in the dreams, these characters just floating around, like on my right, on my left. And one character just came to my face, and I just woke up like, whoa, what happened? And when you learn something with passion, you will dream about it. So just dream it and work hard. You can do it in 2 to 3 months. I believe in you guys. Because maybe you have done A levels, O levels, maybe metric, maybe FSC. So those studies, I think those studies were difficult than the first year of this university. Maybe your country's curriculum is very difficult. But I know by myself, Pakistan curriculum is very difficult. You have to give a lot of examinations to get into a medical university. We didn't make it there, so that's why we are here. But you guys have the passion to learn something. Memorable experience. One time I went to in a store. I was coming out from the Walmart, and I went into some local shop, some store, a convenience store there. I went inside and I said, 你们有饼干吗? Do you have biscuits? I want biscuits. And they were just staring at me like this. And then there was an old man and a woman there. I said to his husband, 这个是外国人，这是这样的。Is this a foreigner or he is from Xinjiang? Because a lot of people in Xinjiang looks like us. A lot. They have a lot of similarities with us. So I was like, I understood what she said, but she didn't know that I understand because she was just nervous. And that was an awkward and also at the same time memorable experience for me. They were very happy after knowing me that I'm a foreigner and I can speak Chinese. There will be, if you will speak Chinese, and you will get a lot of offers like, can we be just friends? And maybe in the future they will help you to do business, maybe whatever. So, encounters with the locals at the hospital. Well, let me mention one thing. The medical Chinese and the Chinese you speak every day is a lot different. Both are different. Like in English, we speak the language's basics, communication, but when we study the medical, it's different. You cannot understand if you don't learn. So, at the hospital, actually my medical Chinese is not that good, but the Chinese that I can speak in communication, the everyday Chinese is better than the medical Chinese. But sometimes I understand them and they are very happy about this one. They have the confidence that the foreigners can come to their country and they can be doctors and they can trust us because of this, because we can speak Chinese. So other than that, I would like to say, as I just mentioned, you have come a long way from your country, from your home. You left your home to be a doctor here. So I will give you some advice from my experience as your senior, as one of your brothers, that this time is very, very important for you. It's critical for you. If you don't work hard, you are going nowhere. Because maybe in Africa there is a test, you go back and then you have to apply for the test. Is that test difficult, or you can say, oh no, it's nothing, we can just pass it and be a doctor there?
It's difficult.
Difficult, yeah, right? As I'm from Pakistan, I already know, or NRE, the examination, licensing exam, is very difficult, especially the first part, the theory part. We have 2 parts for medical. I think the date is out now, right?
Yes.
So, when you go back to your country, if you have learned something here, if you have studied here, then you can give that examination and be a doctor there. But first you have to work hard. You don't have to waste your time. You don't have to just go on TikTok and watch some videos, meaningless videos, just meaningless. One guy is doing some milking a cow. Have you never saw it, like milking a cow? Literally, you're seeing it watching it on the phone. No, it has no meaning. Man. It has no meaning. You just have to work hard. It's your study and your age. Literally, when you grow up, your cortexes in your brain are going to close because you're growing up constantly, and you will, as you age, your process of learning becomes slower and slower, and then you cannot learn even one word. So this age, you guys are from like 2002, 2003?
Yeah.
Yeah, around this age, like 20, maybe 21. So I'm 1998, 26 this year, and I can say it with experience that the age of 20 to 25, it's a lot different than 25 to 30. Like from after 25, you are in another domain of age. So at this time is very important. You can do anything and everything. Be confident and hopeful. Don't be hopeless. If something is very difficult, in my experience, nothing is difficult. You can learn everything and anything. Why? Because every time you start a new thing, you will say, oh man, it's so difficult, I cannot do it. Why? Because you don't have motivation. Find an inspiration. Find a thing that inspires you to do that thing. And you just have to consider the benefits from that thing. And that will be your motivation. Like you just mentioned, for Chinese, you have the career opportunities. So, maybe you want to be a doctor, maybe you didn't want to be a doctor, maybe your father sent you here. from Pakistan, we have a lot of stories. I didn't want to be a doctor. My father just sent me here. Maybe I wanted to go to military, maybe I wanted to be an engineer, but my father insisted on this, and I'm here. If it was the case, just leave it behind. You cannot do anything that is gone. Time is the most precious thing. It doesn't wait for anyone. It just go and continuously go, and you grow up, and one day you realize I didn't do anything and I have nothing. If I have done something, I would have a lot of things. Maybe I was rich. Maybe I would be some officer. Maybe I would be a president of some country. Maybe. Who knows? So, do something today that you thank yourself tomorrow. My code, I follow this code. Do something today that in the future you thank yourself for. So just notice this thing, remember this thing. If you want to be motivated again sometime, I'm not sure, maybe you're motivated, maybe you're not motivated, but I'm sure that I have made it clear, if you don't work hard, nothing is going to come to you in free. So that was my presentation today, and thank you so much. Shishke. I will see you next time. If you have any questions, as I mentioned, I have Instagram, I have YouTube. You can go there and contact me. I didn't prepare for the WeChat because I use a lot of Instagram.
现在还有问题吗？现在没有问题，都可以过4级吗？没有问题。
Okay. So if you have any questions, you can ask me right now. I will give you 5 minutes. Raise your hand.
For the memorizing of Chinese characters, like what skill do you use to memorize Chinese characters?
Can you say?
Like you said about writing, every time writing.
Yeah.
So sometimes you write, some of them maybe you cannot remember. So what skill particularly do you use to remember those characters?
So the point here is you cannot remember the characters that you write, right? The thing is, your brain automatically remember those characters. Like, I'll give you an example in real life. For example, you have seen a person 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, by passing, just passing, you took a look at it on their face, and you were like, after some years, you see that person accidentally this, and you say, oh, maybe I have seen you before, but I don't remember where and when. You don't have to worry about that. You just write, just keep going on. As I mentioned, when you do the computer examination, the character will come out when you enter the opinion, and you will say, oh, I have practiced this one is the right one to choose. So that is my answer to your question. Maybe it was helpful, maybe not, but keep going on. Anyone else? From Pakistan? Maybe any question? I'll come to Indonesia in 1 minute. First from Pakistan. Any question? About your career, about your motivation, about your plans, maybe Chinese language? You still have 3 minutes left. Okay, first you just get to the point. What you can ask me. First, Indonesia. Do you have any questions? There are 3 students from Indonesia, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I know some areas in Indonesia. I also have some class fellows from Indonesia. So yeah, Indonesia is a beautiful country. I've seen it in a lot of videos, but I haven't been there. Maybe I will one day. So no questions, right? Okay. Pakistan? No? Okay. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.